Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Pokemon Black. I'm your host, PokeGamer. In the last episode, we kind of backtracked a bit towards the P2 laboratory, an area a little west of where we basically started the game. So, we kind of did that, managed to get the TMs for Thunderbolt and Toxic. There's also another one, I can't really remember the name of it. Something that really doesn't see enough play anyway, so it doesn't really fucking matter. This is my 5th or so time recording this episode. For some reason, in the little volume mixer that Windows has, I don't know if, like, you know, things like Macs and shit like that have something like that, I guess. But, apparently if you mute the thing whenever you're recording, the sound doesn't get recorded or something like that. So, something I didn't know that I never really had a problem with before, something I had to deal with, so as a result I ended up having to record like 5 times. So, yeah. That's kind of a thing. So basically what we're doing today is making our way to Opelucid City, and we're gonna kind of just do that as fast as we possibly can, because there's a lot of things that we have to do. Now, while we're in the middle of doing that and listening to Gens's, you know, go on his little gay rampage again, he's going to just keep talking about the dragons and all that other crap, but whatever. Things that we need to cover. One, I feel like we should all take a moment of silence for the fact that the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection is currently not live anymore. Like at all. You can't trade via Wi-Fi through Black and White 2, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, HeartGold, Soul Silver. Those are probably the most relevant games that I can think of off the top of my head. So yeah, anything Wii U, or 3DS related, you're perfectly fine. You can still, you know, do the Pokemon Bank, you can still do Poke Transporter, you can do X and Y, you can probably do Battle Revolution. I don't know if it's still a thing that people actually play, but yeah, that's kind of a thing as well, so, I don't know, whatever. So, I mean, I figured they were going to do it late tonight, not literally like midnight of last night, but what can you do? So, yesterday, if you didn't get it in the last second, within literally like the last remaining 6 or so hours that I gave you some, you know, from, or, you know, post after I gave you the announcement that everything was going down as of today, then you kind of out of luck if you didn't do any of that. So, yeah, I at least have all my smirgles, so I'm good for at least seconds, whatever. So, something was brought to my attention. I don't know exactly if it's true or not, but it's kind of worth the mention. Apparently, E3 is going to be covering things for Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, and I think so far the only thing that's like been leaked is the fact that we already know that it's going to be released in, you know, November. So I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more, but I mean, we obviously don't have much information now. I don't remember when we're supposed to be exactly getting E3. I don't remember the exact dates for E3, but I do remember that, or I do remember being told that, you know, E3 is going to have Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. So I mean, that's kind of a thing. I don't know what they can really, you know, be like, oh hey, E3, show off our Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. I can't really think of anything, like maybe like early game stuff, like what kind of Pokemon you might be able to find. I'm not entirely sure. There's kind of a lot of things that they can show. They can show the encounter with the legendaries. So I mean, let's see here. I'm looking at something here. I'm not sure what it meant. There's a little announcement on the 3DS, of course, so I'm sure everyone that has internet access on their 3DS has it. But there's something like Recharge Complete on June 10th, 2014 at 9 AM. I don't know. I don't know what that really actually entices or means or whatever. I'm assuming somewhere around then is when, you know, when 3 actually is. Which isn't very far away considering it's the 20th. But I mean, I'm still kind of drawing a blank to what they might be able to show. Maybe there'll be like a demo that people can play there. That'd be kind of cool. I feel like it's something that they should do, considering everyone's been waiting for a Hoenn remake, even though there's a lot of people that are complaining, oh, Hoenn sucks, it was the worst region, and all this other happy bullshit. What is wrong with everyone that thinks that, by the way? Yeah, I understand, sea roots, but, I mean, imagining that world in 3D, much like X and Y is, it's gonna be great. It's really gonna be great. I mean, being able to see a wide ocean like that is as if you're living on a coastal area. Like me personally, I live in the northeast on, you know, obviously in America. I live in the northeastern part. I mean, being able to go to the sea and just see how, like, you know, you may see like nothingness, but I mean, like, you know how you have one of those awe-inspiring moments where you're staring out at sea or whatever, and it's just like that one moment where it's absolutely beautiful. It's kind of like that. I kind of see like there being some kind of instance or a possible instance like that in the remakes for Hoenn. So I mean, that's kind of the thing. But I mean, seeing Hoenn again in a new light, so to speak, they might cut back on the sea routes. They might make them a little bit smaller. No major reason to make them huge, I suppose, just big enough to have all the areas that are, you know, or that were in the originals, you know, to be there. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess people maybe just never heard of repels. I mean, tentacles all day. I mean, if you want to go for the fact that you might find a shiny or that you want to experience things like that, I mean, fine, you don't have to use a repel, but if they're beginning to annoy you or whatever, why the hell do you care? Use a repel. Like, I don't understand that. Like, if you're complaining about the encounters, then your simple solution is a repel. If you're complaining about the trainers or how much water there is, well, maybe there are people that are complaining about how much land there is in all the other games. Like, what is wrong with you? I mean, like, really, are you really Team Magma in real life? Like, you want to expand the land in a Pokemon game because you're just sick of sea routes? Is that it? Because, as far as I can tell, it's the only game that actually has, well, not the only game, it's one of the two games that has a decent sea route type of thing. I really don't see it being too much more different than the sea routes in Gold, Silver, Crystal, HeartGold. The reason why I mention this is because there was the little islands. You had 4 different islands to go through. That means if you didn't have repels, because you know you're one of those people, then guess what? You're going to encounter all the tentacles and whatever else Pokemon you can find there. I think you could find Mantines or something as well. But yeah, there was that, and not to mention all the trainers, all the different areas that you had to go in and out of to find all the items and stuff that you wanted. Excuse me. Things like that. So I mean, like, while the Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Gold, Silver, Crystal sea route areas were minimal, I suppose, compared, or in comparison, but well, that's the case. The Hoenn one gives you a lot more. There's a lot of different areas you can explore. It gives you access to... It was unique in the sense that you had to actually go through the sea in order to reach a city. And by that, I mean you had to actually go undersea and then come back up and all that other happy crap. Like, it was something completely new to the entire franchise. Not to mention you had to surf to get to the Pacific Log, you had to surf to get to... Oh, what was the name of the city that Titan was in? That's not Sapphire was. I can't remember the Moss Deep. I think. Yeah, I think it's Moss Deep City. You had to surf to the Elite Four, like, in a way that kind of, okay, surfing to the Elite Four and Victory Road kind of reminded me, or kind of gave me that feel of the first Pokemon movie, where there was a huge storm and they couldn't go out there by boat, and they had to go out there with their Pokemon to reach the island in order to, you know, find Mewtwo. It's kind of like that. It's kind of cool when you compare it to something that's kind of nostalgic. Am I wrong? I might be, I guess, in your eyes, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, a lot of people throw Hoenn under the bus for no reason, really. I mean, if you're complaining about sea routes, that's not a good enough reason. The Pokemon, let's be real, let's look at some of Generation 5's Pokemon, for example. The Vanillite line, their Ice Cream, Cryogonal, a Snowflake. What? I mean, like Gen 3, we had the Swampert, the Torchic, the Sapphire, things that I think were quite unique. Kyogre, Groudon, they were really cool. I mean, they were kind of representative of their, obviously, their corresponding elements. And they kind of matched, like, mammal-wise, like Kyogre's like a whale or something like that. Groudon, I guess you could say, is kind of like a lizard, like a really giant lizard or something. So, I mean, he kind of represents being on land, and there's the fact that, you know, Kyogre is like a whale who lives in the ocean. So, I mean, like, a lot, I can admit there are some Pokemon in Generation 3 that aren't the greatest. But, I mean, when it comes to something like Generation 5, they had some pretty weird Pokemon. There was Trubbish, the Vanilla line, there's a whole bunch of just weird-looking Pokemon. I mean, let's look at the fucking, what's it called? I think it's Sewaddle, the Sewaddle line, or that little grass bug, like, weedle kind of crap. Yeah, why? But I mean, condemning an entire generation because of the designs for some of the Pokemon, or the sea roots in Hoenn's case, things like that, it's really just unfair, at least in my opinion. Anyways, in case you weren't paying attention to the actual Let's Play and you're just listening to me rant, we are now in Opelucid City, where Gets is trying to do one of his little shitty speeches, trying to make people either release their Pokemon or to hand their Pokemon over willingly because they feel like they're treating their Pokemon badly or something. You know, kind of the guilt trip crap, peer pressure and all. So, I mean, that's kind of a thing. He also mentions the fact that he's going to have N's going to try and change the world and all this other crap. Anyways, I'm sure you've also noticed that Iris is here with a new character. This new character is Drayden. He is currently the, gym leader of this town, so we're going to have to kind of battle him at some point. So yeah. Because we have enough time, I kind of want to make this small little thing. I don't know if I mentioned this previously or not. About Kyogre and Groudon, we saw them both in the little quote-unquote, you know, live footage that they gave on Pokemon Get. And the thing is we saw Groudon come out of the water, as well as Kyogre, of course. A lot of people, when that happened, I think a lot of people had questioned why Groudon came out of the ocean. I have one possible theory, and it's actually very likely to be the case. In Emerald, the way things worked were a bit different. You basically saw both Team Magma and Team Aqua awaken both Kyogre and Groudon, and for some reason they both decided to appear in Opelucid City. So you could probably remember the fact that Groudon was on like a little slab in the middle of the water, and Kyogre was just on the opposite side of him. I'm assuming it's gonna be like that. What we probably saw in that little quote-unquote preview was them both coming out of the water in Opelucid City, and following that would probably be where Rayquaza comes down and says, "Oh nah, shut up, you guys are being stupid, you know, go, you know, fuck yourselves." Pardon my language, but that's kind of like the best way to express this here. It's like, just go back to your corners and shut up, you know, something like that. It's probably something along those lines in regards to like why we saw Groudon and Kyogre coming out of the water. I don't know, because I mean, the way things worked in Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald is when one of them was set, or not set free, but like awoken, they would create either harsh sunlight or, you know, heavy rain. And I'm assuming that when they came out of the water in Opelucid, it was kind of a clash between the sun and heavy rain in the middle of the city or whatever, creating what you might call chaos. So I mean, that's kind of a thing. Anyways, I mean, we kind of have less than a minute left. Basically just talk to a few NPCs, I guess, and you know, try and get as much of this done as possible so there's less to do in the next episodes. That way we can get on with the gym leader, or at least with the gym. And I mean, you know, don't want to waste everyone's time or whatever doing stupid crap. I mean, I think that we cover all of the outside NPCs in this, and then we just move on to you know, basically getting ready to finish the episode. So I mean, whatever. So like I said, what we're going to be doing in the next episode is, you know, talking to the rest of the NPCs in the town and all that other happy crap, and hopefully getting on, or started on the gym. So if you haven't already, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and until next time, this is the PokeGamer, signing out.